academic institutions are the very big money making machines.
These Ivy League university, for examples in US, they are charging more than 200,000 US dollars for an MBA program where there is no surety that you will get a good job.
I think this entire system of universities and everything is going to fall apart.
You don't need to do a 4 year investment or 5 year investment to get a degree. Ultimately, if your goal is to work for a company,
कि हाँ आप पढ़ाओगी तो हम भी आएंगे मैं ऐसे टाइप का all that be my
Yeah.
Hello everyone, welcome to DYNT, specifically welcome to Lifestyle of DYNT. Today I'm Devji or DJ or whatever you know me by. Today we're going to talk about the future of education. We are trying to voice out our uninformed opinions, sort of trying to gang in this podcast wave that's hitting the online social medias right now. So yeah, we're going to talk about a few of things. Joining me today. Before that, obviously, we are DYNT. We are primarily a documentary making platform. To check out our videos, the links are all in the description. Hopefully, before that, after that, obviously, is joining us today is my friend Onurag. Onurag, say hi.
Hi. Back again. I guess.
Back again. Next up with Onurag and me is Zishan. Back again.
hello.
Zishan.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. And a new guest today. Everyone in the house, say cheers for.
Hello everyone, it's Bala here.
Guys, we're going to talk about education, and we're obviously going to share our perspectives on it. What lies in the future of education? Obviously, there's like the longest debate that's going on that the education system that prevails in the world doesn't make people educated, but make people literate. And apart from that, there's another new challenge that COVID enforced restrictions have brought in the world of education is that like it has almost legitimized long distance learning in the form of online classrooms, obviously. So obviously, where do you think we should start from? Konrad, where do you think we should start from?
Okay.
Online education or like yeah?
I think I will go with a very extreme view that what we know as education today, like this school system and a university system. As we go ahead, I think this system would totally fall down. If you why just a question like why do you need education? Like why everyone is going for education? So what is the primary motive? Anyone? So
Bala, considering the fact.
So, yeah, I'd like to contradict a little. Like
no,
we are,
just
yeah,
answer
yeah.
my
like
question. Like why they are
Why,
going
why do
for
we need
education?
the education? Yeah, because throughout the history, the societal norms and everything has led to the point that to earn, we need education, right? Right
yeah,
now,
Exactly.
that is the perspective
Exactly.
that
So
to
we're
earn we
doing
need
it.
the education.
I think it's mostly because of to improve your thought process, or maybe to make yourself representable to the so-called societal needs.
Yeah,
This
I
is what I
agree.
think.
yeah.
I
To
agree,
That
but
me,
if the
that's a good
incentive,
motive, but
yeah,
the
but
incentive, yeah,
yeah,
it's to
at the
get a
end of the
job.
day, if the yeah, at the end of the
It's
day,
to
if the
get a job.
incentive of not
Yeah,
getting a job, not earning
ultimately
was
to
not
get a
there,
job.
yeah,
yeah.
ultimately to get a
So
job and to
if
earn.
if
So
Yeah.
if I want to
in
break
that,
down is why do we need education is so that we can know what as human race we have achieved, understand that what we are good for, and contribute to its further progress. That's it. Like
hmm,
something
uh,
like that.
yeah, the society needs to give a certain amount of education so that everyone is a responsible citizen. But why everyone does it, I think that thing is mostly covered in the school system. But in the college or university, people are going with the sole focus that they have to somehow land a job. Maybe not, maybe for 1% or 2% people that's might not be the case, but they want some job, they want to have some career, and that would have some kind of thing. So
True.
in that regard, we have other options right now. So if you are just thinking about being into software development, 6 months or 12-month boot camp would be equally valuable with that 4 year bachelor's or 2 years master's education. So and many people are going. So different companies right now, they even don't need a degree. Like Google, they have already told that they have a course in Coursera, I think. So if they do it, then they are considered as good as the 4-year bachelor degree holders. So they are good to apply.
Yeah, yeah.
So so in my sense, what I see is that uh, college or university is a huge amount of investment, and it wasn't so expensive before. In the last or 10-20 years, the expensive have skyrocketed everywhere. If you know, in India, when we studied, it was the fees were very low, but now everywhere it's very high. And the same thing with US or UK or something. So uh, the fees are very high, so there is no point in studying. Now you go to any US, Canada, or UK university, the only reason the most of the students studying there, you would find, are from outside the country. So it becomes a kind of a entry for immigration. So that's why it
Mhm.
makes sense for them to do the studies, but just to get a job, maybe that might not be the uh, right solution.
Yeah, I think देवारपन is like डिग्री नहीं होगी तो कंपनी नौकरी नहीं देगी और कोई बाप अपनी छोकरी नहीं देगा.
Chokre nahi de. Yeah.
Pretty simple, like pretty simple logic.
That, that's
But
that's to a valid point.
that's to a
That's what
valid
I
point.
was
But
trying to.
Mm,
That's what I was trying to
yeah,
focus on. Like, if there were, if incentives were not there after at the end
mm,
of the path, I don't think many people would have chosen this path, right? We would
mm.
have still be hunter gatherers or doing building some leaning tower
Yeah,
of Pisa or
yeah,
something like that,
yeah. Mm,
yeah.
right? So
No, we everyone does something for investment, but solely from a very moral high ground, or solely from like the thing that we should do as a human race.
mm, mm,
Uh, like, do you think the role of the university, like we are in a structure that we go undergo 15 years of general education through schooling, and then we go for specialized education through the universities. Do you think that needs a remodeling, revamping sort of thing as well?
yeah, of course, of course. The entire education system, it needs to be remodeled, because right now I don't know the national education policy with which India is coming up. It might be in a direction towards that. The flexibility, it is not there. Like, you have a set amount of subjects that you need to study during your schooling time. And even when you go for a degree, especially in India, you don't have the flexibility of choosing a subject or something that you really want to study, but that is not in your curriculum. And suppose you want to learn Python while studying architecture, that option is simply not there in our curriculum, right? There's
Yep.
a set syllabus that is governed by the Council of Architecture, that all the universities have to follow to make sure they have the Council of Architecture registration. So yeah, it is very much rigid, and it is not going to stand the test of time in the days to come, from what I
yeah.
feel.
I guess in US and Canada they have this credit-based system where you can
Yes, yes.
actually choose your own coursework, right?
But again, yeah, again, they also, like, after all, the education system vastly has evolved from the Britishers, right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
across. So
Mm-hmm.
even though they have the flexibility, they have this mandate, specifically the courses which are
In UK it's not that flexible like you
yeah,
have
yeah,
in US or Canada.
yeah. No, in US and Canada also, the courses which are professional courses.
Mm,
So there the flexibility is very minimum. Like 20% of the course is
mm,
flexible. Rest,
mm,
they have governed. These all are the courses that you need to take up. You need to finish the credits on these courses,
mm,
and after that, suppose 15 to 20% of the credits are left, which you can,
mm,
again, there is a set amount of subjects or courses from within which you can choose. Like, you
mm,
cannot go out and beyond to suppose you want to learn something from the mechanical engineering department, you cannot do that
mm,
simply to
mm,
that.
mm,
So
mm,
though it is a little bit flexible, it is not that flexible that you
mm,
can just choose anything you want to. So yeah, that
That
is
depends.
there.
That depends. In my university here
Hmm.
at Rutgers, obviously there's a lot of flexibility in that one. There's like my whole course structure. I'm currently doing a master's in urban planning in Rutgers for people who don't know. So what my curriculum gives me is that there's a set of credits that I need to do, and then that's divided into some core credits that I those credits that are not flexible. That's half of the course, and the other half of the course I can do anything. Like, so I can go to business school and take up business analytics course. I can do a I don't know, a political science course in a different school.
mm,
So that is pretty flexible at this university it seems, and I'm pretty happy with that. But as always, as Bala is saying, it might not be the case for every university, but but it should be, right. It should be like
Yeah.
especially US especially has this thing that it's very expensive. Like it's a pretty common phenomenon that most students here are in debt. Student loans are a big issue, even political discussions, and even in presidential elections we have seen. So and I think India is following that same model with especially our college. We know, like, we studied at how much? Like, it was like probably 25,000 a year or something. Now people pay like
mm,
1 lakh for a semester, I've heard, and that's the maximum pay range. Um, are do you think it's worth it? Like, as Unrag was saying, Zishan, do you think like it's worth it paying 1 lakh per semester, 5 lakh, 10 lakh for a job? Like, if you are paying that, would you almost take university not as a thing that you have to do, but the university is like an investment? Like, I'm like a private tuition sort of, that I'm doing it. Okay, I'm paying 100, 800 rupees per month. I'm taking that knowledge, sort of thing.
and and you should always
Yes,
think
yes,
what would be a return of that investment.
Exactly. So
yes,
is
definitely.
is our
Money
interaction with
is
the university
something.
changing? Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think that money, the investment you are doing towards a university, is definitely something you are expecting that you will get something in return, maybe a good job, or maybe a degree which will be helpful ultimately to reach to the level which you want to be. Uh,
Yeah.
so considering the fact that these Ivy League universities, for example, in US, they are charging more than 200,000 US dollars for an MBA program where there is no surety that you will get a good job. But there are certain people, and there are examples of people who are getting a buttload of money from there. So it actually depends on few things, because when we are talking about an investment and what is the investment of return you are getting from there, the most important thing is, are you suitable enough to get that much of package from that university? Does the company see that potential in you, which you can only achieve by you having relevant experience? That is not necessary that you have to have it from the university. In some ways university helps, that you interact with different kind of people, who all are the the big shots in the market, and you understand that how this market is going to react when you graduate. But that actually is only a part of whole process. I think that the most valuable thing which a university provides is to give us an environment where where you interact with various students. For example, if somebody is studying abroad, they interact with all types of people from all around the world, and they learn a lot. They learn a lot about various things. They learn new skills. They have idea of how this if I specifically talk about business, how business is being done into different cities. So definitely there are some perks of doing a university education, but at the same time, as Anurag and Devjit, you also mentioned that it is getting expensive, and it's getting too expensive, I must say that. it's very difficult for a common person or a guy from a very poor background to attain such kind of education. So the most important thing is if you want to to have some skills. Nowadays there are very similar cheap platforms available on internet, like Udemy is there, Coursera is there. If you want to learn coding, you can learn it directly from there. You don't need to do a 4-year investment or 5-year investment to get a degree. Ultimately, if your goal is to work for a company like Google, or create your own business, ultimately it's your choice. So there is a need of uh, immediate attention given towards this education system, which Bala was mentioning earlier. And at the same time, it's really important for the academicians, research organizations, and government to look for the requirement of students, how as students as well as the industry, that what is the industry requirement, and how we are preparing our students for these tough times.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think.
elaborating on. Sorry,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
go ahead, go ahead. I was just like
Okay.
trying to mention the major point of Zishan only. So like, yeah, you
Mm.
can go ahead. Yeah.
So elaborating on the points that what Jishan was saying, that the education system needs to follow more of the industry. So what's happening now versus what was before, if we can explain this, is previously the career used to be very much plateaued. It used to be very like our fathers, what they used to study something for 3 years or 4 years, then they used to get job, and that was their career for the whole of their life. And that time that made sense, like the universities had a very good course structure that was been developed and then fine tuned for a lot of time, and that was a good course structure, and that made sense to go through that system. But what's happening now is the career today is changing so fast. You need new kind of skills, and in 3 or 4 years you have to learn something new to do something new. So how do you get that? So in that sense, universities, so someone, so who, let's see who are teaching in the university, someone who has already studied and have done PhD, they have no connection to the industry, and they are now teaching in the university. And in most of the cases they are not at all connected to what's happening in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
So
True.
it's kind of so a lot of people, what they're doing is they are just attending like 6 months course, then having a 2 year or 3 year run in one kind of skill set based work, and then again relearning for 6 months or 9 months, then again going developing there. And it might happen within a company also, and companies are also encouraging people to learn and relearn and develop them. So that's the ongoing, you have to keep on learning. But the education system that we know of today, so that's kind of the structure. It's not that the government has to do it, it's because of the
Yeah.
market demand it will change.
Yeah.
And we should
But
not forget. Yeah, no, Ravi, yeah, go ahead.
mm, but it's but one thing is that, but I don't think that universities, w- that the institutions that we have today would be totally extinct, because there is also a very good need of doing research, so that is kind of complementary to what's happening in the industry, and that's not possible in the industry. That can only happen in universities. So maybe universities would become some kind of research organizations or think tank. Like there are already think tanks or research organizations that they they also encourage people doing PhD to work there. So mm, so might be that
Yeah, so
when
I think to carry on, like even what Zishan was saying, that university is almost like it just gives you an environment to meet like-minded people rather than
mm,
the education. Because today with YouTube and Facebook, and look, we are being look, we are being watched by 6 or 7 people right now. So yeah, the
mm,
access sitting from our living rooms, all right, the
mm,
access that we have to each other that technology has provided has obviously like we have all done online classrooms or meetings. We have all
mm,
attended that, and
mm,
this access, this environment that Zishan was mentioning about, that was previously only possible to be provided by the university, is now being
mm,
provided by the internet, by these internet companies. And it's like, so yeah, maybe universities are still, even even after that, it's just been 1 or 2 years that
mm,
we are
mm,
getting
mm,
used to the system, where universities have been there
mm,
for hundreds. So even after that, universities obviously have an upper hand. But don't you think that's partly because of the, like the academic lobby that there is, like these online publishing companies? I would try not to name them, but anyway,
yeah,
they are
yeah,
they are very, they're very I don't know, they don't provide information to everyone.
mm,
They're against the providing of free information, because
mm,
that's what
mm,
justifies their existence.
mm,
So
mm.
does anyone have a say on that,
Yeah,
like
very, very true. It's a like education academic institutions are the very big money making machines. So, and like in very good institutions, they are uh, it's not that they are giving really good education which is not available anywhere, but they are giving a very good brand. And it's and because of the brand, bright minds are coming. They are also because of that network effect also, it's that whole environment is uh, much more encouraging for them to grow in their career. So it's kind of a business model, a very good business
yeah,
model, but that
yeah,
not might not be the right strategy for most of the people.
true,
We should not here forget that it's a participatory economy in our society. So if we talk about universities, there are huge number of people who are employed there, whether it be public university or private.
Mm,
Currently, the concern after the outbreak of COVID is mostly towards the private universities, which are not funded by the government. Uh, if you see, there are more than 1,500 universities, privately funded universities in USA, which are facing challenge of their lifetime currently because of these online classes. And students are, they demanding a waiver of different kinds of fees, waiver
mm,
mostly towards these insurances and public facility and other kind of fees. So this was earlier, this specifically, this was a part of the whole economy which is getting suffered. So the question here is not only about how the students are interacting with the universities. There is also a question about how efficient this culture, or rather the cultural shift towards, towards online internet or online study will affect our economy. So it's really important to pinpoint these points also.
but
Another
our
another point
society
I'd
would.
like to another point I'd like to focus on is uh, the end product, that is getting the job that I was mentioning, right?
Mm,
So
mm,
once the companies, or once the corporates, they start giving more importance to the online platform educations, like Anurag and Zishan was previously mentioning, like Coursera, Udemy, or
mm,
so
mm,
whatever you say, edX. So once they start validating those degrees and certificates, and starts inducting people having those certificates into the mainstream job market, I think this entire system of universities and everything is going to fall apart, because it is gaining ground right now, and there are many companies who are giving it importance. Like I guess there's Upgrad or something like that, who are tying up with universities and
uncanny
giving,
and all those, yeah.
yeah, who are tying up with universities and giving the degree of MBA at the, or from a very good university, at half the price, or one tenth the price, if I'm not wrong.
Hmm.
So the degree is the same. You pay less. Many people are preferring it. Many people are going for it, and yeah, they're getting inducted into the mainstream job market somehow. So after having a basic degree, like the basic undergrad degree,
mm,
if people start taking up these type of online platforms to complete their masters or PhD or whatever bit or
Mhm.
whatever professional education they want to. Uh, it is going to affect the entire system, the entire ecosystem of what
Yeah.
we were just calling,
Mhm.
uh,
And
yeah, whatever
as the university, yeah,
university. Yeah,
Yeah, but I do like it's in this free market, in this capitalist free market. I think systems would tend to be more efficient. So maybe different universities, private universities, would not be able to employ everyone, but there would also be many employment uh, opportunities for other academics, like in India, Baiju. We have heard a lot of bad things about it, but still is employing so many people. So a new economy would emerge, and what we are also seeing that many instructors in edX or Coursera, they are actually university professors.
yeah,
They are so what it would happen is kind of we would have some a cult of superstar instructor. Like if you are really good in mathematics,
yeah,
you would be able to teach like maybe 50% of the mathematics in the whole world, so because
yeah,
of what we have in technology and all. So this is kind of a like uh, like what we have in capitalist society, like winner takes all. So most of the money would go to him. So I
yeah.
think, but that's the way it could be.
Yeah, that's the way it probably could be. And like, yeah, as the Vanna says, like celebrity teachers out there is
Mm.
like probably something that we can look forward to, and might be for the first time uh, like a justified celebrity. Like we can probably
Yeah,
tie that up. Yeah, we should make our heroes not these actors,
yeah,
but we should make
yeah,
the
yeah,
heroes
yeah,
the
yeah.
teachers and the army men and all that.
This
Probably
there's
for
a
the first
course
time, yeah,
CS50
yeah,
by
yeah,
Harvard.
yeah.
So that is in
Some
edX.
David or someone,
David
yeah,
J. Malan.
yeah,
Amazing stage
yeah.
presence. And it's like a you are watching like well produced movie over there if you see the lectures and all. And it's done
Yeah.
every year. Every year you have different version. So
Okay.
it's really good. It's a treat. Like he makes it like even if you don't want to learn coding, he makes it so easy to you that you
Mm-hmm.
get interested, though coding is really a boring thing. It's like
Yes, yes.
yeah, it's a lot of hard work and all, but it he makes thing interesting. So that's what.
Yes, definitely. To add on to that, I would like to say that I was, reading some article few days ago where there was mention of this old Roman university.
Hmm.
This university actually this struck me hard because they had, this there was mention of this university which they started. I don't recall the name exactly, but this
You mean
university,
you
the
mean
idea
you mean
I
you, you mean
yeah,
Nalanda, right?
it
Like
was quite no, no, not Nalanda.
okay,
It was
okay.
a Roman university, old Roman.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
I don't recall the exact name, but basically
Hmm.
the idea behind that university was that it established in that manner that there were certain students, and they were research scholars. They started this university, and they hired a lot of teachers for their students, and the idea behind that was that if you are able to attract students for your lecture, then only you will survive in the job. If you cannot attract more than 100, say for perhaps 50 or 100 students to your lecture, you are not attractive enough, or maybe your lecture is people are not wanting to attend your lecture, then you will be fired. So this kind of concept should be applied
Yeah,
to our
yeah,
universities, where
yeah.
if you
Yeah.
are able to attract students, then only you will be there on the job.
If it
But
was
then
there
we'll
in our time, then we
yeah.
know who would be the person who would have been kicked out.
but I like to just jump in here. Like these type of systems, are there in Western universities. They take regular feedback from the students after the end of each course, and I guess in Indian, some of the Indian universities also they have started this. But what is the end product? We don't know. Like even
Yeah,
after
because
getting
like
bad reviews,
Dude, those feedbacks are just for say only. Yeah,
yeah,
in
that's what
SPA
I'm
we also
saying.
used to have that feedback and all that never
Yeah.
works.
I
Yeah,
don't
but
get the
then
point.
how do you judge, like obviously there has to be a put in a like a proper parameter of judging that what like students might be coming in for a lot of reasons. I've seen like this there. Do you remember this meme that teacher was like, हाँ आप पढ़ाओगी तो हम भी आएंगे मैथ्स का ऐसा टाइप का all that meme.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Do share this if you want to show this to anyone what we have talked about, if it was valuable to you. Otherwise, do follow. The links are in the description. Do go to our channel, like, share, and subscribe if you like, and obviously comment and tell us what you feel like. If we had been wrong in certain places, do point us out. We would like to. This is just a discussion, so just like feel free to say whatever you feel like. Keep watching. Take care.